I have a problem. Or better yet, my wife thinks I have a problem. She thinks I have what you would call an obsession. And it all started when I bought a pair of sunglasses. And I saw the sunglasses, and the sunglasses saw me. And I said, my God, you're beautiful, amazing, wonderful. It was the most magical moment I have ever had in a gas station. Don't judge me. You don't know my life. And my wife was saying, Marquese, you're spending an awful lot of time with these sunglasses lately. Are you obsessed? And I was thinking, obsessed? No. I mean, sometimes me and the sunglasses like to cook together. I mean, sometimes me and the sunglasses like to sit down and write papers together. I mean, sometimes on a Sunday afternoon, we like to go to the grocery store and fruit shop. And then sometimes we'll even sit down and read a book together, but I don't think that makes me obsessed. And so I went to my wife and I said, you know what? I've been thinking about what you've been saying. I think you're jealous. I think you're jealous of the relationship that me and the sunglasses have. And you just don't understand the power. And you don't understand the love that the sunglasses have for me. And so I took the sunglasses off and I placed them on her eyes. And then I stepped back and I said, can you see the bluish purplish tint that the sunglasses put on the world? And she said, yes. I said, can you see how selfless the sunglasses are as they protect your eyes from the UV rays trying to attack you? And she said, you're being dramatic, but yes, I can see it. And then she said, then I asked her, can you feel the power? And she said no. And so I took my sunglasses back. And I know you're probably thinking, what do sunglasses have to do with art, social change, and uncomfortable conversations? Now, when I talk about art tonight, I'll be talking about specifically how poetry, or more importantly, how poetry can be used as a method to help people tell their stories. And so I'll be talking more about the art of storytelling. And now you're probably even more confused because you're thinking, what do sunglasses have to do with storytelling? But think about it. When you take off your glasses, or when you take off your sunglasses, and you place them on someone else's eyes, at that point, they can begin to see the world as you see it. And when you tell your story to someone, and they begin to listen, at that point, they can begin to see the world as you see it, and they can begin to see things from your perspective. And so they can begin to see things as you see them. And so now I want to talk about how I use storytelling to help a group of young men tell their stories and create social change and have some uncomfortable conversations. And so meet Evan, Alex, and Joseph. In 2014, I embarked on a poetic journey with these three young men. And my goal as the poetry coach was to help them tell their story through poetry. And they wanted to tell their experience, or talk about their experience of growing up being Asian American in the Southern United States. And we would tell their story through poetry. And for me, I was so excited about this experience because in all my years of teaching, and all my years of working in middle schools, and all my years of working in high schools, and all my years of working in multiple colleges, this was one of the few times I had a chance to work with students to help them tell their story. Because you think about it, academic institutions, you sit down and you're asked to learn somebody else's history, but rarely do we get a chance to tell our own. And so I sat down and I talked with the young men, and we talked about times they felt like they were stereotyped, times they felt like they would go turn on the TV or look on the movie screen and they would rarely see people that looked like them and how that made them feel. They also talked about times where they would feel like they were never quite fully accepted as being American, but they also were never quite fully accepted as being Asian. And so we put these stories and we put these experiences into a poem, and then we created a short film, and it was absolutely breathtaking. And they actually titled the poem, or the short film, Where is Asia America? And after we filmed the short film, I was like, wow, I got a chance to grow, you got a chance to grow, we grew together, and it was like, I never knew some of the things you showed me, and I thought the project was over. I was like, high five, because I'm kind of awkward with my coordination, and it was a beautiful moment. But then a teacher heard about the project that we were doing, and that teacher submitted the short film, unbeknownst to me, to a conference. And so 2 or 3 months after we shot the short film, we were on a plane to San Francisco, California, to premiere the short film at the Center for Asian American Media Festival, which is sponsored by the Smithsonian Institute. And I was nervous. My stomach was in knots. We're sitting at the film premiere, and I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, what are these students gonna think? Because there were hundreds of students who were Asian American from all across the nation in this theater, and I'm thinking, what are they gonna think about this? They're gonna be like, oh, get that guy and beat him up. Okay, so the film starts, and the students absolutely, positively love the film. So many students came up to me after the film and said, I can't believe somebody took my life story and put it on a screen for me to see. And it was impactful. But what was more impactful for me was when I took the short film back home and I began to show the short film to students who were not Asian American. And at that point, so many students began to talk about, wow, I never knew that was your experience. Oh, wow. I wish I would have known when you were going through some of the things you were going through, I would have stood up with you. Oh, wow. I didn't have the exact same experience, but I experienced something similar, and it made me feel the exact same way. And so then you have students who weren't Asian American, who walked by these students each and every day in the hallways and didn't see themselves as being similar. Now they start seeing the similarities between each other. And now they're building this cross-cultural consciousness. And now they're starting to understand the plight of the students they walk by each and every day in the hallways, but before this time never understood and never took the time to talk to. And that was absolutely breathtaking. And so I'm thinking, at this point in time, I've talked about the project, and you're thinking, okay, so what is the grand takeaway? What can we learn from this? For me, I think we have to challenge what is by challenging the idea that talking about race has to be an uncomfortable conversation. I think we focus on that too much. I think instead we need to shift our focus to understanding the benefits that can come from us having productive conversations about race, or better yet, we can shift our focus to understanding how important it is to understand the stories of people who don't, quote unquote, look like us. And whenever we build up enough courage to take the time to listen to someone whose story doesn't look like ours, I believe at that point, maybe, just maybe, we can change the world by changing the way we see the people in it. Thank you.